Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we'll continue our discussion on char methods. Let's start by exploring the isdigit method. The purpose of the isdigit method is to determine whether a given character represents a decimal digit within the range of 0 to 9 in all Unicode numbers. When using this method, it returns a Boolean value indicating whether the character is indeed a digit or not. If the character is recognized as a digit, the method returns true, otherwise it returns false. Let's provide you with some examples to illustrate the usage of the isdigit method. In the first example, we call the isdigit method on the value 4. As expected, since 4 is a digit, the method returns true. Moving on to the second example, we pass a Persian number to the isdigit method. Despite being a character from a different language, it's still a number within the 0 to 9 range of Unicode numbers. Therefore, the method returns true for this example as well. Lastly, in the third example, we pass a $sign to the isdigit method. Since the $sign is a symbol and not a digit, this method does not recognize it as a digit and returns a false value. We hope these examples help you better understand how the isdigit method works. The next method we'll discuss is the issymbol method. This method is used to check whether a specific character represents a symbol according to Unicode standards. To use this method, we simply pass a single parameter of type char which represents the character we wanna check. If the specific character is classified as a symbol, the method returns true, otherwise it returns false. It's worth noting that symbols can encompass a wide range of characters, including currency symbols, mathematical operators, and many other characters that are neither letters nor digits. Let's provide you with a couple of examples that will help illustrate the functionality of the issymbol method. In the first example, we call the issymbol method on the $sign character, and since the $sign is a symbol, the method returns true. In the second example, we check if the end character is considered a symbol by passing it to the issymbol method. And since the end character falls under Unicode's definition of letters and not symbols, the method will return false, indicating that it's not a symbol. These examples demonstrate how the issymbol method can be used to quickly determine whether a given character is a symbol or not. The final method we'll discuss in this lecture is the parse method. The parse method is used to convert a string representation of a single character into its corresponding char value. This method takes a single parameter which represents the string containing exactly one character to be parsed. Then it returns the resulting char value. Here's an example of how we can use the parse method. In this example, we parse the string s using the parse method. Since it contains only one valid character, it successfully converts it into its corresponding Unicode value s. It's important to note that if we attempt to parse an empty or null string or provide multiple characters in the input string, an exception will be thrown. Alright, now let's proceed to see these methods in action by jumping into VS Code and showcasing some practical examples. In these examples, we input a Latin 4 number, a Persian 4 number, and a $sign into the isdigit method. Save the file and run the application to observe the results. As you can see, there is an issue with printing the Persian number in the terminal. Can you guess how we can solve this problem? As discussed in the previous lecture, since the console class employs our operating system's encoding scheme, it cannot interpret Persian characters. To resolve this problem, let's change the output encoding to UTF-8. To automatically import the encoding namespace, we can click on the encoding class and then click on the Show Code Actions icon. This will open a list of available actions, and we should select the proper option to import the namespace. Once we've selected this option, we'll see that the namespace is automatically imported at the top of the file. Okay, now run the application once more. We'll observe that the problem has been resolved. As a result, the isDigit method correctly returns a true value for both Latin and Persian 4 numbers, while returning a false value for the $sign as expected. Alright, let's see the isSymbol method in action. Save the file and run the application to observe what happens. In the first example, we can see that the isSymbol method correctly identifies the $sign character as a symbol and returns true. On the other hand, it recognizes the letter N as a non-symbol and returns false, which is the expected behavior of the method. Alright, now let's move on to demonstrating the parse method in action. As we've previously shown, the parse method is used by various integral and floating point types to convert a string to their corresponding type. Similarly, the char type also uses this method to convert a single letter string to a char type. In this example, we provide a single uppercase letter S as input to the parse method. Now, run the application and see the result. As expected, the parse method successfully converts the uppercase S to its corresponding char value. Okay, done. Remember to put what you've learned into practice and keep learning. See you soon.